you said fit the description, and you talked about how you wanted your sons to present themselves to the world so that they didn't fit the description. And of course, that impulse, right? And to protect your children, anyone would do it, right? If you knew, right, that presenting a certain image to the world is going to put somebody in danger, your kid in danger, then you're going to make sure that they don't project that image, you know? And you're going to teach them how to survive in a hostile environment. You know, it's a little bit difficult and complicated because my own personal experience was one in which I was taught to assimilate, one in which I was taught to be that one black person in the math class. I was that kid. I even have a particular story. You know, you said you were in pre-calc in 10th grade. I also took pre-calc in 10th grade, and I went on to calculus and, you know, AP statistics, took Calc 1, 2, and 3, several advanced mathematics courses, got a master's of in math education. I currently teach mathematics classes at the community college level. And so I've studied math extensively and math education extensively. And I think back sometimes and I reflect upon my existence in those classrooms as the only black student. And I was really freaking good at math. I knew algebra before I even entered kindergarten. So I was at that level. And I remember one particular time that I'll bring up. Only black person in this class. It was a special class in my middle school that was put together for students who were taking algebra in middle school. And we were having some kind of a competition, a speed competition. Ridiculous equation, put up, whoever could solve it first. You know, there was no prize or anything. It was just something we were doing for fun, right? And to stretch our muscles. But I was really good at math. I still am. And so my speed was there. I had a lot of reps already. You know, it's not like I thought I was better than anyone or anything like that. I was just existing, right? I was existing. I fit the description of a math whiz, you know, and I was just living that out. And I remember I raised my hand and the teacher came over. She checked my answer and it was wrong. And at the time, I did notice something about her informing me that it wasn't right. But looking back, I realized that it was like she was happy that I got it wrong. Because I was getting everything right. I was winning every award. You know, I was
that kid
meritocratically. You know, I was representing high meritocratic standards. And I realized, you know, when I was even younger than that people were not necessarily going to be happy at my success, you know, that my success was not going to be something a lot of people are going to be thrilled about. And she was happy about my failure, you know, preying on my downfall. A kid, a middle schooler who she was teaching. And she came back. I was the next person to raise my hand after that because I found my mistake and I fixed it in that time before anyone else even had her come check.
Wow.
And she's walking around. She's ignoring me. Finally, nobody else raises their hand. She comes over. She looks. She doesn't say anything. She just keeps walking. She's looking around. Finally, she's like, okay, we've got somebody who got it. But there was like a long delay. And I was just like, she didn't say a word to me, did not acknowledge me, did not tell me I got it right, nothing. The whole experience, I was just like, I don't really know what happened there. You know, back then, I didn't really have a context, again, within which to put that experience into. I didn't see her treat anyone else that way. I didn't see anything like that, you know? So I was just like, what just happened there? I literally don't know, you know?
Absolutely.
But yeah, reflecting, that's what it was, you know? And I've seen it so many times replicated in so many different educational experiences since then. You know, I went to the University of Rochester, a predominantly white institution for undergrad. I went to the City University of New York in New York City for my master's degree. That was a much more diverse experience that I had. So, but which came with, you know, both more kind of, I guess you could say, experiences that relate more to building community with the student population, but also more opportunity to see the kinds of discrimination that these institutions can breed.
Yes.
And then law school at Fordham University School of Law with people, a lot of people from the upper crust, you know,
Mm-hmm.
people I would never
Mm-hmm.
probably come into contact with, typically given my lower middle class upbringing. So I really have kind of seen the gambit and gotten a lot of experiences and taken time like yourself to kind of consciously educate myself, you know, about what it means to be a man, what it means to be a black man, what it means to be black in America, building the framework and the context in which to put my experiences into, and so that I'm able to make informed choices about my future and the future of people who are part of my racialized community. So, yeah.
Can I
Yeah,
can
go
I
ahead. Go
can
ahead.
I can I take what you said and just go, you know, you and I, and like you said in the introduction, you know, basically social media strangers who came together. The one question I had asked a question. This is how we met. I had asked a question regarding parent participation in school, and you had this great response, and then it kind of grew from there. You know, but you're on one side of the country, I'm on the other. We share a similar story in some of our experiences as Black men in school, right? Multiply that times, you know, a million times. And then we take, you didn't know, you knew, but you didn't know, right? Now, if you didn't have the intestinal fortitude or wherewithal, that one interaction could have destroyed you. And you could have taken that like, okay, I don't want to do this again because I don't ever want that feeling again, right? Because not everybody's wired the same way to fight through and be like, oh, okay, I got it right, so I'm gonna raise my hand again. I got it wrong, I'm gonna raise my hand again, right? How many of us had that same experience, but were defeated in the moment, right? And then sidetracked. Those are the moments that I'm hoping this book allows, you know, educators of young Black men to give them that grace to make a mistake, right? It, and I always use this phrase because it is so important. It is so important. You know, Frederick Douglass says, you know, it's easier to build strong boys than repair broken men. It sounds like some of that still may bother you a little bit, right? I know some of the things I've been through, I've been able to work on through counseling and voicing and getting it out, but it's still there. Like if I had to be honest, and I asked one of my white friends, and be like, have you ever had this experience? Would you even know? Right? I can sit here and have a pity party and be like, oh, that's unfair. But what good is that going to do me to evolve and to progress and try to change it for the next second grader or the next math genius like yourself sitting there? You get one answer wrong, and then this educator who has their own lived experience just totally disregard the in. So I learned this from my wife, and I'm grateful. It's not the intent, it's the impact. When we say things, it's not the intent, it's the impact. right? The impact it had on you could have been totally different than what it turned out to be. But we have individuals, like I said, we're not wired the same way. So imagine someone's intent, but then imagine the impact of the young brothers that might be locked up right now. Now, I'm not saying I don't want to go into right and wrong of criminal activity or nothing like that. But I'm just trying to say, I was talking to two young black men in juvenile hall 2 weeks ago, and I shared with both of them this, and I mean this. It wasn't your action that got you in here. It was everything that was fed to you before you had to come up to this particular time and make a decision on this action. It was everything else, right? And again, that goes to that input and then the impact on the individual, right? Because you could easily be, I know I'm rambling, but it's because we have so many layers to some of the struggles of our racial identity as black men, right? And if I don't know how to express myself and I thought I did good, and you come and bash my spirits, I take a step back and you don't know my journey and you don't know I slept in a car last night with my grandmother and my little sister and I didn't eat because my grandmother needs to eat to take her medicine because if she doesn't eat without her medicine, she can get sick. And so I gave what's left of my food to my sister. I didn't really get a lot of sleep, but I come in this class, I do my absolute best. I want to raise my hand to show you that I'm worthy, and then you bash me. And now I'm on that edge where I might not come back. And I think that is a story relived over and over and over, and I just want to tie that to what you said, sharing your experience in class. Again, going back to the book, I fit the description. You have to allow me some grace so I can show you who I am. Let me evolve. Let me evolve. That's what you started, right? This racial evolution of consciousness. Well, I want to evolve as a man. I want to evolve as a human. You have to acknowledge I exist as a black man to allow me that grace first and foremost. Because if you don't think I exist first and foremost, then you're never going to give me any opportunity because you don't even think I'm tangible. You don't even think I'm relevant. If we want to get to the nooks and cranny, you have to acknowledge that this little black boy exists in your presence and he is worthy and capable of all great things. He is not the exception. He is the norm. These are the ideations I hope my book addresses. And at least if it doesn't knock it down and deconstruct it, hopefully, what's that saying? The slow drip breaks a big rock. I'm hoping that's what slow drip does. So young black men like yourself,
it's inevitable, Smitty. It's inevitable, brother. It's inevitable. Okay, you are just adding your part, as I am, and that's all we're writing it right now. We're writing that story. And thanks for watching. For access to the full-length conversation and all of the 2-hour-long unedited conversations that I've had on race, click the support link in the description below. Thanks for your support and see you next time.